We have some pretty massive duo leaks to talk about, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk about duos until after Globals because I didn't think any of the pros would properly announce their duos, but I decided to run a duo tournament today on my new late game map, and it actually got a bunch of the duos together, and on stream they started talking about who they're actually doing with and why, and it made me want to make a video to recap what's going on. I really didn't plan on doing this, but we just got to see all of the tier 1 NA pros give their thoughts and opinions on who their duo is going to be and why, and I thought that's just too good not to make a video on. Globals isn't over, but we've got duo cash cups starting in like a week and a half. I might as well talk about some of them, and we also got information on what's going on with Mr. Savage and Mongraal, because Mongraal's now back from his holiday. Mr. Savage and him are now set to play a duo tournament together, and we have some insight on whether that's actually going to be a duo that's running it back. So I decided to run a duo tournament to celebrate me dropping my new duo late game map. I got all the pros together. The first 10 rounds was pretty simple. Just if you get a win, you make money. It wasn't meant to be anything crazy. The pros played. We actually got to see how good some of these pros were going to be at duos. And then after this, the pros were having so much fun playing duos again, they wanted to run it back for another 10 rounds, but this was based on placement and elims. This was like a normal duo cash cup format. My map has the regular cash cup format from duos, so they wanted to play it based on leaderboard, so it wasn't just a victory format. They could play for elims as well, and we got to see some extremely interesting duos before this even started. I'll say straight out of the gate, some of these duos aren't going to be real duos going forward. Poyo couldn't play, so we got to see Peterbot and Kanata, but this was Kanata's chance to maybe try and win Peterbot back over. He could prove that he'd be the best support for Peterbot again. He was literally buying him exotic weapons from the store with the coins he earned and then giving them to Peterbot, so he was doing his best to try to win Peterbot back over, but there was a few that I do want to talk about that look like real duos, like Clicks and Higgs. Now, this is an interesting one because Clicks has just said, again, the reason why he stopped streaming for a few days was to fix the vibes on his trio. And going into that break, there was no announcement of who Clicks, Higgs, or Iomza were going to play with. And Clicks kept talking on stream about who he's going to play with. Is he going to play with Savage? And it was a little bit confusing because, you know, you've got two teammates you get along really well with. Like, why aren't you playing with them? So a lot of people were confused why it wasn't already Clicks and Higgs or Clicks and Iomza. But now they fixed their vibes. They're playing duos together and playing extremely well. Clicks and Higgs were absolutely dominating. They actually ended up coming first in my tournament in the next 10 rounds. When elims and placement was combined, they played phenomenally well, and the way they were playing together seemed like they were having a lot of fun. This was Clicks getting his first win.
On 4, editing. 3, 2, 1.
Dead. Hold it. I need to hold you.
Too much play.
Dead. Claim layer. I'm dead. Play you.
Get out.
Dead. I'm in mystery.
I'm in mystery you. No, you need to play.
No, I have nothing.
Come here. I'm enemies.
I don't know where you are. Drop it.
Yeah, I'll
No, play it.
Bring it down.
I'm gonna get 7 on this kid.
Why is there still 10 seconds?
Nice! Thanks! We did it! We did it!
The way they were talking and playing together made it seem like they're an actual duo. Not only this, Clicks then went and played the Skin Cup after this in the Reload Cup with Aegis, and he got a chance to talk to Aegis about his duo, Iomza. And this has actually been a lot of theories and a lot of rumors going around that it was going to be Iomza and Aegis as a duo, and Clicks asked Aegis this, and he had this to say.
I don't know why Peter's not playing with gold for duos. I thought I would just
Who's Peter playing with? Poyo?
Yeah.
Who's Poyo gonna play with?
I mean, Gold and Ritual are playing.
No way, Poyo and Cold are gonna play.
No, Poyo, Peter, and then Gold or Ritual. But
Cold
I thought,
and
like,
Ritual?
Yeah, I thought Peter would put Gold and then I would put Poyo, but it's not what happened.
I mean, Iomza's looking better.
What, than Poyo?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I just played with Poyo for so long.
You don't think Iomza's better than Poyo? You think Poyo's better than Iomza?
Yeah, this guy's farming clips now, bro. No, I just played with Poyo for a year. Like, I already know how to play with them. I've never played with Zell.
It was this clip here that made me really want to actually make a video talking about the new duos, and we got to learn a lot here. So we have confirmed that it is going to be Cold and Ritual, which we kind of already knew Ritual had that as his duo command in chat. We know it's Pete and Poyo. A few of us have suspected that. Pete has officially announced it, and I don't see them splitting. They've both made the mistake of dropping each other in the past, and it seems like they've spent pretty much the last year regretting it and fighting against each other for this whole year. They're bringing it back together next year, but we now got the confirmation it is going to be Iomza and Aegis, and Clicks' statement that Iomza is better than Poyo has ruffled a lot of feathers. Understandably, Poyo is a multi-FNCS champion, but hey, W for Clicks for gassing up his teammate coming into globals is half the reason why I didn't want to talk about duos too much, because when you start talking about duos ahead of a major trio tournament, it really does mess up your vibes. But hey, I mean, Clicks is defending his trio mate there. Obviously, I'm guessing that's why Zoe and Clicks aren't playing together. It seems like it's not a decision on Clicks' end. Clicks would love to play with Zoe. It seems like Zoe wanted to play with someone else, and if his eyes are on Ages, it makes sense. Ages is absolutely phenomenal now, but I still think Clicks and Higgs makes a lot of sense. This still leaves quite a few big names with question marks on who they're going to play with, and the biggest one you're probably thinking out of this is Acorn, because we've just accounted for every other player on those two trios right now. So we have Pete, Cold, and Ritual accounted for, and then we have Poyo and Ages, but who's Acorn playing with? Now, since the very start, since Duos got announced, I've been saying I would love to see Acorn and Bolts. A lot of people told me it was going to be Bolts and Rapid, but again, I ran my tournament today, and we had Rapid playing. He chose to play with Muzz, and Bolts ended up playing with Acorn. Now, I don't know how much we can go off this though as well, because Muzz didn't know if he was going to be able to play or not, so he subbed in last minute. Bolts and Acorn did agree to play together as of last night though, but people have been saying that the duos are supposed to be Rapid and Bolt, and then it's going to be Muzz and Sphinx, and then it's going to be Cooper and Curly. So I'm not really sure exactly what's going on here. We did also get to see some of our other duos. We got to see Reet and G-Money queue up. That is also another official duo, so there are a few question marks going around, but given the chance to play with their teammates, a lot of them actually chose different people to who they've said they're playing with. Again, it wasn't a gigantic tournament. I didn't put up $50,000. I put up $2,500 to get these guys together to kind of see how they would go on my map. The whole purpose was to show off my new duo late game map. If you guys want to play it again, just search Aussie and Fortnite. You can check it out. Super proud of this one. It is the lowest input delay of any end or late game map you're going to play. Competitive loophole, competitive zones, has a custom made map just for it. I'm so proud of it. Please go check it out. And that was the whole point of this. I was just going to make a video on my map. I was going to get a whole bunch of clips and highlights from the map and show it off. I might make that an entirely other video, but I thought this is just too good not to make a duo video. And we have pretty much all of the tier 1 pros on NA confirming who they're playing with and actually talking about who they're playing with and why. As far as how the duos actually went, in the 10 rounds we ran with the regular scoring from the duo cash cut, we actually had Clicks and Higgs bringing it home. They got 5 top 5s with a whole bunch of elims as well. Then we had Muzz and Rapid come in second, who again aren't, I believe, officially actually a duo, but they were looking really, really good together. And then we had a very surprising Acorn and Bolts. Not saying surprising for getting top 3. They didn't get top 3. They had the most elims. Acorn and Bolts actually got the most elims of any duo in my tournament and got the bonus $500. The third place on the leaderboard was actually Kanata and Peterbot. And despite Kanata doing everything it could, like I said, you collect gold by playing the map. You get coins you can then spend on exotic weapons to make it a bit more realistic, like you would have an exotic a few times in a regular endgame. And every time Kanata got enough coins, he would buy the exotic spaz and then give it to Peterbot. And even while doing this, Kanata, I believe at one point had 14 elims to Peterbot's 4. So I'm not really sure what was going on there. I think Peterbot was just having an off day, but overall a lot of our big teams doing really well, but it was actually Clicks and Higgs that impressed me the most. Now, I don't want to talk too much about EU duos. I'm actually running a tournament today as of you watching this video. After the Div Cup finals on EU, I'm going to be running a tournament for all the pros. So if you want to swing by and watch it live on Twitch or YouTube, feel free. But one duo I do want to talk about is Savage and Mongraal. Now, we got to see them play the Skin Cup together. I was hoping this would be the big announcement of, oh my god, Savage and Mongraal are back. That's the official duo, but no. They did discuss playing together, and you know, like a lot of us kind of assumed, I think they will play together if that's not their last option, because that sounds really brutal, but I think they just want to explore other options first. Again, we know this duo is going to work. We know it's going to be content. We know it's going to be vibes, but just like we had with Mr. Savage and Clicks, kind of depends on what your motivations are. Like, no offense, Savage and Mongraal aren't going to win FNCS. I think most people can admit that, but they could do extremely well. They could make awesome content. They love playing together. Savage, when I was talking to him on stream about, you know, who he wanted to do with and what his priorities were, he said he wants to have fun. He knows he's going to have fun with Mongraal, and Mongraal is locked in and grinding a lot right now. So I think there's always that option there, and I think it's a solid backup, and I think they are just exploring other options, talking to other people, just making sure they kind of, you know, checking all the options before they then go back to what they know is going to work. And I think that's fair. They're both close enough with each other. They're good enough friends where I think they're not offended by both of them looking at other options, and that they know there'll be great vibes. They get back together again anyway. Like, if you turn down an option for a teammate you've never really played for, and then you, like, you know, try to go back to them, they might be offended, they might be hurt, where I think Savage and Mongraal know they can be honest with each other. And again, if you do the duo command in Savage's stream, and it did this throughout the whole Skin Cup, it did say no duo right now. So I mean, like, they weren't even trying to pretend they were going to duo together, and that was the big announcement. They were just playing together for fun, as friends do. We might get to see them run it back for duos, but at this point, we just don't know. And now remember, it's worth pointing out as well, the solo series is, you know, it's going to be multiple qualifiers leading up to a final, but it's not like that for the duo cash cup. The duo cash cup is going to be just like the trio divisional cups, where for Div 1, all these pros are in, they can switch week on week. They have to play each week together. Once you play one qualifier, you've got to play with that same duo for the second qualifier for Div 1 to qualify for finals. But, you know, if Savage plays with, let's say, Pink, and then it doesn't really work out, next week they can go play with Mongraal. Teams don't have to like lock in like we have FNCS starting tomorrow, and I think that's kind of affecting the way a lot of the teams look at this. They're going to try out and see what works, and then if it doesn't, they play with someone else. It's not too stressful. If watching the background footage today made you miss duos and you want to jump on, you want to play, you want to start practicing for the tournaments coming up, again, my map is the best way to do it. You can look up tournament late game duos or just look up Aussie and it will come up. This is going to be your best way to practice for the upcoming tournaments, and it's just a bunch of fun. It's like my solo late game map. It is super realistic zones, lowest input delay with current competitive loot pool, and we have the in-game scoring matching tournament scoring, so you can actually jump in, practice, and pretend it's like a real tournament. Trust me, this is your best chance to get better. I'll even put the link in the description down below to make it nice and easy. Appreciate your guys' support.